Good morning. My humble pranams to my teachers, those who mold me in this manner. Today, we discuss about sampling and non-sampling errors. Sampling and non-sampling errors. Generally, the errors arises the errors involved in the collection, processing, and analysis of the data may be broadly classified under two heads. One is sampling errors, the another one is non-sampling errors. So now we will discuss about the sampling errors. Sampling errors have their origin in sampling and arise due to the selection of a part of the population and getting the inferences. These inferences applied to the whole universe or the population. Right? In this, the sampling errors may be due to the following reasons. One is faulty selection of the sample. Second one is substitution. Third one is faulty demarcation of the sample units. Fourth one is data to be collected. The fourth one is improper choice of statistic. Let us discuss one by one. Some of the bias is introduced by the use of defective sampling procedure for selecting the sample. Suppose we may use judgment or purposive sampling in which investigator deliberately selecting a representative sample to obtain the required results. This bias can be representative can be arise due to the representative sample. So how can we overcome this bias? By simply or strictly followed a scientific manners to selection of the sample units from the population. Right? The second one is substitution. So sometimes the investigator facing difficulties for getting the information from particular sample unit. In such a cases, the investigator usually substitute a convenient member of the population rather than the original sample unit. So this automatically, obviously arise bias or introduced a bias in getting the results. Right? And the third one is faulty demarcation of the sample unit. If you observe, in case of principal steps in sample survey, one of the step is that is demarcation of the sampling units. So if you are not proper demarcation of the demarcation means to identifying the population, the borders of the population units, or map of the population or list of the population units. If we are not doing in a proper way, then this type of bias arises. So what we will committed by arising this bias is nothing but sometimes the investigator selects irrelevant sample units, or sometimes the investigator selects excludes relevant sample unit. So both are causing misleading the results. The next one is data to be collected. So if we are not having a proper idea about which type of data we may be collected according to our objectives, so in such a case also introduced a bias. And the last one is improper choice of statistic, which means that we know that generally the sample information is used for estimation of the population parameters. In such a cases, you may be using improper statistic. I will tell you one example. All of us know that the sample mean square, S square, equals to the formula 1 by n summation x minus x bar whole square. This is one formula we may be used for estimation of the population variance, right? So instead of this, suppose this is one formula, another formula is also there. S square equals to 1 by n minus 1 summation x minus x bar whole square. 1 minus x bar whole square. So in such a case, if you observe, this estimate will give unbiased estimate for the population mean square. This estimate will give biased estimate for the population mean square. So if you are using improper choice of statistic, automatically the results are misleading. Right? So we have to understand what is the reasons behind for introducing of the sampling errors. Faulty selection of the sample, maybe the substitution and the faulty demarcation of the sample units, data to be misprocessing of the data collection, and improper choice of the statistic. So now how we will overcome the sampling errors in sample survey? So most of the previous empirical studies told that there is an inverse relationship between sample size and sampling error. If the sample size increases, leads to reduces the sampling error, which means that these two are inversely related. Suppose we may be taking x-axis on sample size, y-axis on sampling errors. If you draw a line, it may be getting downward sloping line, which tells us these two are inversely related. So sample size increases, the sampling errors are reduces, right? So these are some of the things related to sampling error. The next one is non-sampling errors, right? So non-sampling errors can occur at every stage of planning or execution of the census or the sample survey. So which means that which means that uh, these non-sampling errors may arise in sample survey as well as census survey So here the preparation of an exhaustive list of all sources of non-sampling errors is very difficult task. So we have to discuss some of the things which are caused for non-sampling errors. The first one is faulty planning of definitions. The second one is response errors. The third one is non-response biases. Fourth one, errors in coverage. Fifth one, compiling errors. Sixth one, publication errors. So let one by one detailedly discuss about faulty planning of definitions. The planning of a survey consists in explicitly stating the objectives of the survey. These objectives of the survey can be grouped into a set of definitions of the characteristics for which the data are to be collected. The second one, a set of specifications for how to collecting the data, how to processing the data, how to publishing the data, right? So these non-sampling errors may be arise due to one is data specification being inadequate. Data specification may be inadequate and inconsistent with respect to objectives of the survey. So I will give one example how this leads to a non-sampling error. Suppose we are collecting the data regarding the expenditure patterns of middle class families. That is our objective. So maybe you have to collect the information from either rich family households or poor family households, right? In such a cases the bias may be introduced. The second error due to location of the units and actual measurements of the characteristics are errors in regarding the measurements are errors due to the ill-designed questionnaire, right? So generally in the field survey, we are not expecting the measurement of the commodities or the things which may be furnished by the respondent. Suppose you may be asking how much of production of the paddy per acre. So he said 20 bags or 30 bags or 40 bags, right? He may not be know, the respondent may not be know in cases, right? So the investigator may be well known about the measurement of the commodities which are involved in the survey or survey or in our data, right? The third one is lack of trained and qualified investigators and lack of adequate supervisory staff. So these also cause faulty planning of the definitions, right? The second one is response errors. This may be arises as a result of the responses furnished by the respondent and may be due to the following reasons. The first reason is maybe accidental. It may be accidental. Accidental means the respondent may misunderstood your question and furnished the information that is nothing but a improper information, right? So that may be happening. The second one is prestige. The respondent may feel a prestige or appeal to a pride automatically that respondent may upgrade his education, upgrade his intelligence quotient, upgrade his occupation, upgrade his income, or else downgrade his age, or this or else some other things related to the prestige. So automatically the respondent answers are wrong answers, right? The third response error may be self interest. So this is also sometimes arise in the field survey. One maybe safeguard himself giving the answers about his raising the his expenditure, and raising the expenditure, or downward his salary, or the requirements, and so on, right? The another one is failure of respondents memory. So if you are using a long back related questions, so in such a cases the respondent may be giving the answers, or may not be giving the answers. And another one is interview bias. So this may be happening in such a cases when the respondent may be taking the help for giving the answers to the investigator questions. In such a cases, the investigator may be believe what are the beliefs and prejudice. In such a cases, very likely to be influenced by interviewers' beliefs and prejudice. The another one is non-response biases. Non-response biases occurs if full information is not obtained on all the sample units. So in house-to-house survey, non-responses usually results of the respondents is not found at home, even if repeated calls, or hesitate to give answers of some questions, right? Or he forget some answers relating to our questionnaire questions, right? So all these are relating to non-response biases. The another one is errors in coverage. So if the objectives of the survey are not precisely stated in clear-cut terminology, this may be result the inclusion in the survey of certain units which are not to be included. The exclusion of certain units which were to be included in the survey under the objectives. So for example, in a census, to determine the number of individuals in the age group 20 years to 50 years. So moreover, here we may not be mention the area, or the locality, or the town, right? So then automatically the results are biased. Or misleading. Right? So the another one is compiling errors. The various operations of data processing, such as editing and coding of responses, tabulation of data, and summarizing the original observations made in the survey, are the potential sources of errors. The compilation errors are subject to control through consistently verification, right? The another and the last thing is publication errors. So in general, we have to see some of the newspapers. Some newspapers are very good, some newspapers are printing mistakes, right? So in survey, in the research or in the survey is also there are some publication errors. The errors committed during the presentation and printing of tabulated results are basically due to the two sources. The first refers to the mechanics of publication, the proofing errors and the like. The other, which of the more serious nature, lies in the failure of the survey organization to point out the limitations of the statistics, right? So these are the sources of publication errors. So I hope you have to understood the points related to non-sampling errors. So the overall summarize the errors inherent. So these two errors broadly classified under two heads. One is sampling errors, another one is non-sampling errors. Sampling errors, there are some reasons due to the sampling errors. The way some other reasons also there due to the non-sampling errors. Here I want to specify a few things. In a sample survey, non-sampling errors may also arise due to the defective frame and faulty selection of the sampling units. The second point, it is obvious that non-sampling errors are likely to be more serious in complete census as compared to a sample survey, right? The third point here, quite often been pointed out that usually sampling error decrease with increase in sample size. On the other hand, as the sample size increases, the non-sampling errors tend to be increased, right? So whenever the sample size increases, automatically what we have discussed, non-sampling errors may be increases, right? So these are the things we have to discuss. This is the entire survey process. First we have to defining the population. The second one is determining the population frame. Whenever you decided about the population, then sampling frame is nothing but the identification of the population units, the list of the population units, the map of the population units, right? So whenever you decided about the population area, the map of the area, list of the area, then determining the sampling procedure, how you are selecting the sample units from the population. So there are two ways. One is the probability sampling methods, the another one is non-probability sampling methods. So whenever you are fixed about whether you go for probability sampling method or whether you are go for non-probability sampling method, then the next question is, what is the sample size? So many formulas are available in statistics. Stooges formula is there for obtaining the required sample size for the given population size, right? So and ultimately the execution of sampling design, so which means that how to data collecting, how to processing, how to analyzing, analyzation of the data, how to publication. So all these things in execution in the sampling design, right? So this is about the overall idea about any survey. I hope you have to understood about today lecture on sampling and non-sampling errors. So sampling errors is one side, non-sampling errors is another side. Sampling errors arise due to fact that selecting the part of the population. So the sampling errors arise in sample survey, right? So non-sampling errors arise in both surveys, that is nothing but in sample survey as well as that is as well as census survey, I hope you understood. Thank you.